What's up, Wine Club? It's me, Gary V. Super excited, filming this with football season upon us. It is the Sunday of the NFL season. You're obviously getting this wine in about 10 days or so, depending on what part of the country you live in. Nice and cool, the weather, it's kind of a little rainy here. I'm about to film a bunch of wine videos with my dad for Wine Library. So if you're not signed up to winelibrary.com's email service, you should do that. A bunch of cool wines coming up. And this month, September, we get out of the summer months and we go right into some reds. As we start approaching the fall, it's so fun to think about the red wines that you'll be drinking in the winter and what have you. And so we have some fantastic wines from Argentina, Italy, and California. I'm gonna start actually with the Italian wine. Saporio Brunello 2012, 92 points, James Suckling. This wine is about a $35 to $40 wine depending on where you pick it up in the country, but the reality is about this wine is it's not widely available in the US whatsoever. Brunello is obviously a wine that so many of you go after, fall in love with. It is an Italian wine that I've watched over the last 2 decades become put on a super premium pedestal, super hard to get some of the small producers in the US. As a matter of fact, like no UPC code on the back here, you know, just classic, like amazing find by Brandon and the team, and I'm really excited about it. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. On the nose, a lot of red fruit, kind of sour plum comes to mind. A lot of fun to like just be at Pop's farm. Allows me to actually drink the wine, not spit it because I have to travel or what have you. So very silky smooth. What you'll notice on this wine when you taste it, and again, for people in the wine club, this is an amazing wine to pop for, you know, the special Friday or Saturday night dinner that you'll have inevitably in the fall, charity events, family dinners, get-togethers, birthdays, things of that nature. A great wine to consider to put away for 5 to 10 years. As I taste this, the tannins are really strong and structured. That doesn't mean that it's over bitter, because the fruit, especially that raspberry, strawberry, and cherry fruit, real red fruit, as I'm explaining to you, really overpowers the bitterness that some people come across with red wine, but the power and the structure is obvious. And a wine that I think can really stand up for the next 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years. So a couple things come to mind as I'm tasting this. 2012, is it a special year for you? Were you married? Did you have a child? You know, those are kind of things that you can have a lot of fun with. I think one of the great things about wine, if you have a little wine fridge or a cellar, is even if you have like a 20 bottle wine fridge, is putting a bottle of this and drinking on a special occasion. So much of the wine we drink is too young. And number 2, if you're going to go, as we go into truffle, if you're fancy, if you're going into truffle season or high-end Italian fare, or, you know, grandpa from the old country, you know, Grandpa Lou is having his 80th birthday, an incredible wine. So incredible, to me it's a 92, 93 point wine for sure. Well structured, enjoy it. Let's move on. Next wine's a lot of fun for me because I think a lot of you are gonna go out and find it after you have it. The Marana 2016 Argentinian Malbec, 3,200 feet above sea level. So you're talking about high elevation. Really interesting, 100% Malbec, 92 points, James Suckling as well. But this wine comes in on average about $16 to $18 across the country. You know, really interesting. The Blanco family produces and bottles this for Marana, kind of long-standing hardcore family in Argentina. Malbec has been a red wine that has caught a lot of your attention. For people that loved kind of like Zinfandel or Cabernet or Merlot or what have you, a lot of people, Shiraz, people have gravitated to this wonderful wine to the south of us in South America, in Argentina. Let's give it a whirl. The thing that really stands out on this wine is its mouthfeel. It's rugged and strong, kind of like a mountain man, you know, kind of like Ralph, who lives on a ranch in Montana with 7,000 cattle and just works all day and has a lot of dirt ingrained in his hands and eats beef. You know, it's kind of a rugged style Malbec. Really, really beautiful black fruit, black currant, little hint of tobacco on the back end, which is interesting to me. It's really funny of like flavor word association. The tobacco is delicious on the back end of this wine. Makes me think of chewing tobacco. Made me think of like a rugged dude. There's literally, I can figure out how I put the pieces together on the analogy of this wine's personality. Very, very delicious. To me, this is essential Thursday night pizza wine, or can stand up to a tremendous filet mignon that you buy at like the high-end butcher and you cook. And what I mean by that is flexibility. What I love about this wine is its hardcore flexibility. The ability to really be at a price point that doesn't make you sad when you have it on Thursday Night Football, like I will in 2 weeks when we go to Cleveland and destroy the Browns, or the kind of wine that has the complexity and structure that will stand up to a tremendous meal and will act like an $80 wine to a high-end cuisine. Let's move on. This one I wouldn't save as much as the others. And this is probably the wine that has me most excited. I'm gonna rinse here a little bit. So when I first got into wine, one of the things that really excited about wine to me was its similarities to collecting baseball cards and comic books and toys and all the things I grew up loving as a kid. What that led me down a path of was when I was studying, this pre-internet, when I was reading the books that my dad had in the store, when I first discovered Robert Parker, the wine advocate, in a binder in the office, it opened up a world of like not just Silver Oak or Camus or Opus One, the big names that I thought of, call that Marvel Comics or Topps baseball cards. There was this undercurrent of esoteric small producers that I'd never heard of that really caught my imagination because Parker and Spectator rated them as high as these $300, $400 wines, but they were in the 30s, in the 20s, and there were names like William Salem, I remember, and names like Turley and things of that nature. And one of the names at the tippy top of the list, probably because they made a Zinfandel called Jackass Hill, and I was still, nice, you right, D-Rock? Did the Jackass Hill thing come in? They made a wine called Jackass Hill that, you know, obviously I was still like a 17-year-old and I thought that was funny. And that producer was Martinelli. And so I'm really excited about this because this Red Barn Ridge Martinelli 2014 is a wine that I give a lot of kudos to Brandon for finding through a series of like, Martinelli produced this for a specific reason. Whatever business dynamics created the scenario that we were able to swoop in and pick up this $38 to $45 bottle of wine normally priced, and as you can imagine, start putting the pieces together here, an $85 to $90 package for $55 delivered. Whatever they were, we took advantage of it, and I'm really excited about trying this wine. And so Brandon, because you're here, I always get this mixed up. It's predominantly Zinfandel with some Syrah. Yeah. So predominantly Zin. Back to what Martinelli's really known for. What I really love about this is watch this video carefully. Here's why. We don't have anything left over after the club, or we do?
We have about 20 cases.
Okay, so depending how you want to play this, you probably want to save this for Thanksgiving. Or you may want to play the wild card of like pop it right away and take advantage of there's 20 cases laying around at Wine Library. And then you may want to taste it immediately, stock up and buy a case for your Thanksgiving. But this is Thanksgiving wine at its finest. Zinfandel in general is a tremendous alternative or recommendation for Thanksgiving and turkey. The nose is spectacular. Man, Martinelli makes tremendous wine, and I'm so excited because I know 98% of you are about to taste your first Martinelli ever. 99. Beautiful red fruit, explosion of like raspberry jam, fruit, candy-esque on the nose. Dad, you have to try this. Seriously, it's stupid. So much fruit. It's literally like if you got the cleanest raspberry, blackberry, blueberry jam from like a great farm, right? There's that, I know you do. The reason I gave it to you was because that sweetness, there's a hint of sweetness. That's why you love Amarone.
I'm sweet, so I like it.
Some would call, I think you're sweet. I don't know if Neil Barnett would think you're sweet. This is this is exploding with fruit. And the reason I passed the glass to my dad is there's a wine called Amarone, very known for what you love. And this is why I know you would love this. There's a hint of that residual sugar. And this is not sweet. You know, we've talked a lot about sweet in the last 30 seconds. This is dry wine. So anybody who's watching is like, wait a minute, I don't like sweet wine. This is dry wine. Right. There's just such a remarkable explosion of fruit that it gives you a hint of and an essence of what I would call delicious. Like D-Rock, give D-Rock a little bit, Dad. Give D-Rock the glass, Dad. Yeah, give him the glass. It's okay. Like, for you, D-Rock, I know, well, good news, here you go. There's a whole bottle. You can drink it right to the face. Like, what do you think, D-Rock?
Great for Christmas.
Do you like it?
I do. I actually like it.
Right, and the reason I knew D-Rock would like it is somebody who doesn't drink a lot of wine.
I do like drier wine.
But the fruit is so delicious. It's a delicious explosion of wine. I'm super excited for you to try it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with it, which is a couple of months away, or try to sneak in here, try it immediately, and then I can go to winelibrary.com and pick up some more. Great month. Super excited. This is my time of year with wine. I'm just super into September through December wine dynamics, and I hope you enjoy this month.